visiting Prajnaparamita for the second time. First interview we did was in Dutch, and now we're talking English with each other. Little shift in the mind.
Right.
Thank you for having me. How come, Prajnaparamita, when I come and visit people like you, people who talk about truth, that it almost feels like, or it does feel like, I'm visiting old friends? No, it's total, how do you say, the same. No
barriers.
No distinguish
barriers.
Between you and me.
No borders.
No borders.
Yeah.
No history that I think, what do I know about this woman?
Yeah. We meet in sameness. We don't meet in differences. We meet in sameness. And that makes it always so easy. Very, very intimate, actually, immediately. Mm-hmm. Indeed, what you say, old friends.
Yeah.
Or the differences merge in the meeting of one.
Yeah.
And everybody thrives. You thrive, I thrive. It's just lovely.
Yeah. Because some people could say, who don't know about this subject, well, how long do you know this man or woman?
Right.
And she invites you to her house, and isn't that strange to be there?
Yeah,
and no expectations.
Yeah. Just this immediacy also. We don't need any formality. We immediately meet in the heart.
Yeah.
And that is, it's lovely.
Most people have that when they come somewhere and there's a dog. They kneel down. The dog kisses them in the face. They give them hugs, and they haven't seen that dog before.
Yeah, right.
How come we people don't meet like that?
We have forgotten to be ourselves. We have forgotten to be natural. We are conditioned to be to live on image level. Mm-hmm. We connect on images, and we connect on ideas. What do you do? Are you more important than me? Are you more rich than me? Mm-hmm. All of that. It is. And we always feel so alone. In that kind of connection, we feel so alone. And when we meet in the heart, and that is not a connection, that is communion. But we have forgotten. I think for many decades now, we have developed ourselves on the level of likes and dislikes. Mm-hmm. That we run after our likes, and I like this, I like that, that's exciting, that's new novelty, new experiences, la 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 la, and we run away from pain and distress and anxiety. So that's the line we follow, but we have forgotten what is really essential, and that is the fulfilled heart. Mm-hmm. That doesn't need these continuous satisfaction. Continuous satisfaction.
Of what?
Of filling up an innermost emptiness. Mm-hmm. Continuous craving, continuous need to fill up. This need. Gimme. Because when I'm really silent in myself, it hurts. I feel the pain. I feel the loneliness. I feel that nothing makes any sense. I feel my anger. I feel my restlessness. So I don't want to go there. I want to fill it up. Yeah. And we pay a very high price for having forgotten what is really essential in life. The fulfilled heart that is hiding behind the restlessness and the fear and the pain.
But then when I walk into your house, I immediately feel fulfilled. And that's not because you offer me coffee or cookies, or that it's nice and cozy and warm here, but indeed the heart gets filled with the other. So could you say that all the stuff we put in our drink, we drink, we snort, whatever, is all a substitute for a lack
A lot. I think a lot. When we hunt for it, when we hunt for the fulfillment, and to dispel the restless, what I call the restlessness and the fear, it serves a purpose to cover it up, and yeah. I know that from my own youth, I felt very lost in this world. And I thought, as a child, I already thought, how is it possible that people live so superficially? Mm-hmm. How is it possible? How can that ever be enough? And don't they know that they're going to die?
Yeah.
I couldn't get it. And when I've met Alexander Smith for the first second, I knew, this is it. This is it. So I recognized what was really essential and what would really give me, maybe after a long time, maybe after many, many years, would give me peace of heart. So I knew that no substitute would ever be enough. Yeah.
Alexander Smith is famous for a lot of things, but
yeah.
but also the saying that we are all love looking for itself.
Right. You already are what you're looking for. You already are. So we are looking for ourselves. We are looking. And actually by this search, we are walking away from ourselves. Actually, we abandon ourselves by looking for fulfillment or looking for the love that we are. And usually it takes quite a while, our inner journey, to come to this point where we do no longer walk away from ourselves, where we are so mature that we can be still and receive all of life from our own heart. So that's quite amazing. Yeah.
You say we don't have to look for love because we are love.
Yeah.
Does that love need an object in the world to reflect that love back to us? Or
it can be very helpful. Yeah, it can be very helpful. It's easy to say, yeah, you don't have to look for love because you are. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but if you can't realize this, it is meaningless. It's just words. But when you need to, from top to toe, you need to realize what this really means. And anything can be of help. Nature can be of help. Music can be of help. A good friend, a very strong experience, a spiritual guide, whatever aids this is at your service. Yeah, and I would always suggest receive help. If there is help, receive it. I was incredibly grateful for my gurus who could show me, who could were just tapping on the door of my heart. Hey, wake up, open the door and see for yourself.
And is that the only way? Or is there, for example, a way where I could go out in the world and do volunteer work, help refugees from Syria, work with disabled people, with children? Is that also a tap on the heart? Or
could be. And I think, we can go a very, very long way in our awakening journey without a spiritual guide. But the last step is really difficult without a guide at your side.
And why is that so difficult?
It's so difficult to see the last defense mechanism, because inside of us everything wants to protect this sense of being, what we call I, because our psyche has this idea that when I dies, you die, and you want to be. So there's always a battle going on between, of course I want to be, and also it's a big burden to be. So this is a very strong battle going on, and the deeper you go in yourself, the more essential and more strong the powers are. So these people are around, and I always think they are there to help you.
Make use of them.
Make use of them, as they are there. Yeah, make use of them.
But how come a guru can, let's say, bring me across the bridge?
Yeah.
And I cannot walk over the bridge by myself, that last walk over the bridge.
It's rare. It sometimes happens, but it is rare.
Yeah.
And everybody thinks I'm the one who can do it. Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
and some can.
Yeah.
Well, you ask the same question, and I don't know if I can give another answer. That is this struggle, this fight, this yes and no, this living and dying, it comes to a peak. And for most of us, we want to protect this last, the last trace of I sense. We don't want to surrender this willingly.
Yeah.
Usually it is taken away from us when we physically die. And in your awakening journey, you do this willingly. You merge with the totality of life willingly. You surrender. It's heroic. It's beautiful to give all of your sense of importance of being somebody with all its blah 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 to give it. Actually, it has never been me. It is falsely acclaimed. Every sense of I is falsely acclaimed. So you surrender it to what? To whom? Never to a person. You surrender it to, let's say, truth, to all of life, you know, to the great undividable one, to this great mystery.
Now, at this time we're doing this interview, there's in the south of Holland, there's this big festival going on. We call it Carnival.
Right.
And people easily trade in their importance by wearing a funny hat and a red nose. And I somewhere read that that's also a kind of showing to each other that we're not that important at all. And and we feel great.
We feel great when we do not have to be.
Yeah.
When we do not have to be somebody.
Yeah.
So that again is this friction. We live our lives with this self-importance, and we want to be important, and we want to be somebody. And also when we don't have to be somebody, we are so happy.
Yeah.
Like in deep sleep.
Yeah.
We are so happy when we not need to be.
Yeah.
We are so happy when we do not have to entertain any identity. And also we want it. So again, there's this friction.
Yeah.
To be and not having to be.
Yeah. To be or not to be, that's the question.
Hamlet said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there maybe a crisis needed in someone's life to come to that point where you say, I give it up all? You get fired, you get divorced, your house burns down.
Can be helpful, but hopefully not. Usually people learn after a crisis. And I always think, that's so sad. Why don't you learn by just honestly looking into your life and detecting your strategies to run away from painful places. So be more intelligent than needing a crisis. Look into your life. Listen to what you speak. Look at how you behave, your acts. That tells you a lot about how you operate. So it requires so much honesty And then you quickly see that there is nothing more fulfilling than the fulfilled heart that is free of craving and free of need and free of the expectation, you know, all of that.
Can it be helpful to, let's say, for a month, write down everything that happened that day, or?
Can be helpful, yeah, can be helpful. But usually this vigilance, this being aware is enough. But it can be helpful. When it easily slips away, you write it down. During my awakening journey, I had a diary also, because it was helpful for me. I had nobody to talk to. So it was helpful to what was subtly going on in me, to make it concrete by giving it words. But also sometimes I was reading back, and then half a year later, I was reading back for half a year previous to that, and I said, gee, I already saw this half a year ago. How come? I was not paying enough attention. You know, I had already seen it, but it slipped out of my fingers. It was too subtle. So it can really be helpful. Can be helpful, yeah.
You say be very alert.
Yeah, vigilant. Yeah, vigilant. Yeah. It's not an effort. It's not something that you do. It is just being awake, being aware, being present. Being present. Yeah, not in this gluey, dreamy, dreaming state. Yeah.
And should I get rid of distractions?
What does that mean, a distraction?
Well, you could say that I have my coffee at 8:30, and I then watch a TV series, and I then read my book, and then I go to bed. That's how I do my routine every day.
Yeah.
So sort of comfortable numbness. And you could say that, well, okay, let's skip that for a while.
And see what happens.
See what happens. Yeah. Just sit on the couch and no coffee at 9:30, no watching the evening news. Not because for me, all that are little things where I
cling to.
Yeah, I cling to, and I don't have to be with myself then.
Yeah.
The attention is.
Yeah. You can do if you want. You don't need to. But I know exactly what you mean. We have usually we how you say, design a life, you know, that is protected like that. So we design our life and we live in our comfort zone. Yeah. So that, but at the moment we are disturbed in our comfort, then what is happening? Yeah. Am I reacting? You know, how do I react? Yeah. How do I respond? Yeah. So I have this wonderful place in France where people come and go all the time, and they are immediately out of their comfort zone. Immediately, because they cannot protect this zone anymore. So quickly it shows up, you know, what is where there is a friction in you, where you feel immediately dissatisfied, or it shows immediately. So when you cut your comfort zone, quickly you see where you are at, what your real capacity is. Yeah.
That famous saying that if you think you're so enlightened, go and spend a week with your father and mother.
Yeah.
Then you know.
Very good idea.
Yeah. So, very practical.
Life will always show you. Yeah. So we can all have nice blah and think of ourselves how free and blah we are, but life will tell. Life will show us immediately, and we just need to be honest to admit. That. And then so what? Yeah.
And that's not only on an individual level, because let's say on the collective level here in Holland, we always thought that we were very tolerant and very loving and peaceful, and then a couple of thousand refugees come.
Yeah, that's enough.
And everybody is going mad and not in my street.
Exactly. Or even when I take a parking place that somebody else wants.
Ooh,
already, that can be...
Yeah. So we think we're very civilized, but is that just a small...
Very thin layer.
Cover-up.
Very, very, very thin layer. You know, if you and I sit together in this room, we are now very comfortable. If we don't eat and sleep for 3 days, where are we?
Yeah.
Where are we? It's a very thin layer of comfort.
But, okay, what would that say about me, that after 3 days I would go completely mad here?
Maybe not.
You don't know.
No, maybe not. Maybe we sing and dance together. Maybe you're still happy. Yeah. But it shows.
Yeah. A colleague of yours, Byron Katie, does that sort of practices with people. She drops them in the morning in the middle of Berlin and say, I'm going to see you this evening at this address.
Yeah.
No money, no car.
Right.
No.
Something like that.
Just go. Is that some practices you do with people also in France?
I don't do anything.
No?
I don't do anything. No, we just live together. And we always have projects. So people are often behind a wheelbarrow. You know, this needs to go there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or we're together in the garden. Me too. I'm one of them. I'm just one of the gang.
Yeah.
So we hold the place together, and everything and every moment is showing us something. If we are willing to see, willing to listen, willing to be honest. Yeah, but I'm not doing anything. It is showing, it is immediately apparent. Immediately.
So the big CEO of a Dutch national corporation maybe sometimes visits you.
Right.
And he's also with dirty hands behind the wheelbarrow.
Right. And often very happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have to. Yeah. Just boots.
Yeah.
Splitting wood. You know, like that.
Yeah. You also do meetings over here in Holland every 6 weeks.
Yeah, a couple of,
Yeah, you tell me there's often new kind of people, new people come and visit you.
Yeah.
What are the most heard questions? What is a typical, let's say, beginner question? How do I know this for sure, what you're telling me? Or
it's not easy to say. What is a beginner question?
What is the most heard question? How am I can I become happy?
How is a big one. How? Because we are conditioned on, like people say, yeah, I get what you say, I understand. Now tell me how. Just tell me how.
Yeah.
We are so conditioned on how.
Yeah.
We are so conditioned on problem solving and strategies and techniques.
Reaching.
And from one step to the other. You just tell me how.
Yeah.
There's no how. There's no how. And before we can accept that, we always want the next step. But what this is really about, how does no longer apply.
And what does apply?
To become so still, to not move, and rest, completely rest. Your psyche, your thinking patterns, your strategies, to come to full stop. All ideas of problem solving, all ideas of improving yourself. We are always on the move of improving ourselves. Here, everything stops. And usually it takes some maturing before you can wholeheartedly accept that. Okay. To be completely still and rest your entire being. To no longer move away from yourself. To no longer abandon yourself in search of yourself. The search is actually prohibiting. Is that the right word? The search is
avoiding.
Yeah, is avoiding to find yourself. Yeah, the search itself is an avoiding strategy.
It's postponing.
It's postponing
the thing.
It is postponing the immediacy of this very moment.
Yeah.
The immediacy of life now.
Yeah.
So either we dwell in the past, licking our wounds, or we worry about the future. But living this moment is quite something.
Yeah. It reminds me of a movie with Tom Hanks where he gets in a plane crash and he gets stuck on an island by himself.
Right.
Yeah.
This ball.
Yeah.
He makes a friend.
Yeah,
he makes a friend.
With a volleyball. Yeah.
Whoa, what a wonderful movie. Yeah.
And sometimes with this knowledge, you can see this story repeating in a lot of stories.
Exactly.
People get stuck at one place and then no more hope for the future.
Yeah, exactly. everything is taken away.
Yeah.
Everything is taken away. But he still makes the friends.
Yeah.
So he's not completely going into this
Aloneness.
aloneness.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And in your awakening journey, this is what you meet. This is what you meet. Aloneness. Sooner or later you meet it. And sooner or later you fully allow. You're fully allowed to be taken over.
Yeah. Is that maybe a hindrance or something to watch out for? That sometimes when you, let's say, I come to France and I feel so very cozy with all the people who are interested in the same thing. We're doing nice stuff. We're eating together. That becomes another comfort zone for me. That family atmosphere. Should I go alone in the woods and sit in a cage for 1.5 years? Would that?
Anything can do it. Anything. There is not really a strategy. This is it.
Mm-hmm.
I heard once a story, long time ago, and I was in a Zen monastery. And in the Zen monastery, koans are given. So the master says to the student, "This is your koan. You just sit there. I see you in a year." And then the student sits there for a year with his koan, and you know, all that comes, and the anger, the frustration, and I'm not going anywhere, comes after a year to the master, thinks, I've got it. And then he's very excited and tells the master, "Master, this is it." And the koan says, and the master says, "Go back. I see you in a year." And this goes on, you know, year after year after year, and everything is building up.
Yeah, frustration.
And after 12 years, the student is dismissed. And he is at the peak of his frustration. And he said, "Well, master, you just forget the whole thing." It's very impolite to say something like that in Japan. "You just forget the whole thing." And he goes out of the door, and he slams the door. And he is so angry and so that the door slams on his leg, and his leg is cut off. And by the moment this happens, he awakens. Everything was in this culmination, you know. He awakens. So then all his friends think, that's the trick. I just have to cut off my leg.
Yeah.
And that became the one-legged order of monks. Yeah. So then you think, it is like that. I just have to do like that. Or I have to sit in a cave. Or I have to do this. Or I have to do that. No.
There's not one.
No. Anything. Yeah. Actually, you can hone some qualities. You can hone your courage. You can hone your perseverance, the trust, you know, like that. You can make kind of character foundation.
Mm-hmm.
And then anything can be at your side, but make everything at your side. So when you really listen to what you speak and what you do and how you like to cover up a painful situation, when you really become aware of that, every moment is a teaching. Every friction shows you what you have projected, what you are defending, what you are protecting. Every moment is a teaching. It's calling you home. So that is so beautiful.
Life shouts it you in the face all the time.
All the time, right. Are you willing to listen?
And that could be a simple thing as
watching a bird.
Yeah, I'm thinking about a frustrating thing that I'm having an appointment at 11 a.m. with you, and at 5 before 11 a.m. here at the traffic light, someone's car breaks down in front of me, and I can't pass him. I have to wait for 10-15 minutes. I have to help this man get this car out of the way, and such on. What does that bring up? Does it only bring up frustration, or maybe in my case it brings up, okay, let's help this man.
Yeah.
Get the car to
Yeah, exactly. Can be a lot of things.
Yeah.
It can even bring up, I have no time for you now, I have an appointment. It can be anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But whatever is triggered, you observe it without any judgment. And you tap the wisdom of it. You tap the wisdom out of the situation.
The one thing is not better than the other thing.
I don't
helping,
think so.
not helping.
No.
Being frustrated, being not frustrated. Maybe that's the thing.
Maybe it gives you more space, gives people more space when we don't have to evaluate and define and judge every single moment. But we're just aware. Okay.
So I don't have to act in a particular way. I don't have to be a good Dutch citizen by helping everybody.
Not for me. If this is your nature, go ahead. But if this is your survival strategy, be aware.
Yeah. But how do I make that distinction?
Not with your mind. Your heart will always show you.
Knows.
Your heart knows.
If you're doing something out of protecting...
Yeah, yourself, or that it is natural. You know, your heart always knows.
And we always know the quality of someone's action. You can feel sometimes, mostly, if you are...
Right.
Are you doing this purely out of love?
Or to please me, or whatever.
Gain compliments.
Yeah.
So that quality, we know.
We know.
Yeah.
And you also know that when you are just yourself and natural, that you are at ease with yourself. Yeah. And sometimes you help, and maybe sometimes you don't help. Yeah. Sometimes this is the right thing to do. But you feel, maybe you feel hurried, and you don't help, and then later something is nagging. And the nagging is showing you,
What is it showing me?
The nagging.
Yeah? What does it show?
That something probably was out of place. And then you learn from it and you move on. Yeah.
Afterwards you think, okay, I didn't help this man, but that's purely okay.
Yeah.
Or you think, well, I was afraid that the one I was going to interview was going to say, what is that with you?
Exactly. Yeah.
So through the years, you met Alexander Smith, you told us about, and Shanti Mai.
And Punaji, in a disciple of Ramana Maharshi in India. I stayed some winters with him also, yeah.
And what came up for you during that winter time?
It was Punaji.
Yeah?
Yeah, again, like with Alexander, home. I mean, what a lion, what a beauty. And I met him when he was in his early 80s. So it was for 50 years he had expressed this. For half a century it was so full and so rich and so wonderful. So I feel very grateful that I sat at his feet for a long time. Yeah.
He passed away now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Has he passed on his teaching not only to you but also to other...
Many. After Osho passed, quite a gang from Osho people came to him. So until that time he was giving satsang in his house and in other people's houses, but in a small, until his late 70s it was quite a small group. And then came this whole wave of Osho people, and there was a big hall being built for him. And the last years of his life was many people coming and going all the time in Lucknow in India. Yeah.
And how did you know that a guru was not needed no longer anymore? Was that told to you?
No.
How does that work?
Yeah. Also, that is for everybody different.
How was it for you?
How was it? For me, it was not a one-leg incident, the story of the one leg. For me, it was, I was in India, and I came to the ashram of the master of my master at the Ganges. And the first time that I came there, I felt like, wow, so a profound, timeless recognition of this little place at the ashram. And I was just sitting there. And for every day, for many hours, I was finding a quiet corner to sit and completely dissolving. And then one night, my whole journey came to full stop by a timeless event that lasted for hours, that was made of light. So there was a very, very, very powerful flood of light going through me and erasing me completely, burning everything up. So it was, it's not easy to describe. And it was as well, it was very, very, very powerful. It was almost like my body could maybe not take it, as it was very, very subtle. Like I could almost forget. And so this long awakening journey came to full stop in that night. But I couldn't give words to that at that time. So I couldn't say, oh, now I'm awakened. I had no capacity to that. I had no capacity to reflect. The words were was not easy for me to formulate. So the next day I went to the ashram and sat again and was dissolved for many hours in a very deep meditation. And it was only a long time later that I was able to reflect and acknowledge that was the night where everything stopped, came to full stop. And after that is 20 years ago. And after that has been no more change.
And did you tell anyone?
No.
No saying, well, I've seen it. Bye,
No.
guys.
No, I didn't tell anyone. I didn't tell my guru. I didn't tell anyone. I went just back and sat in silence. Yeah.
And that is also this thing that happened for you, or however you call it, that struck you, that's no blueprint for everyone. So we have to wait until the white light flashes us.
I would suggest not even to wait. I would suggest to no longer make a horizon, make no longer a goal, but to bring everything back to here, now, and to see yourself rather as an awakening being than one being in search of awakening, because the search is pushing away the horizon. But when you relax completely in yourself and see yourself as awakening, you can see yourself as expanding, beyond any limits, beyond any borders, beyond any ideas. That makes a big difference. And this sublime moment, if it is there, can be very exciting, and it can be very subtle. It can be Jean Klein awakened watching a flock of birds. It can be anything. I've heard somebody awakening watching Ben-Hur.
Is it okay if I take some pet peeves from the Advaita scene and
some what?
Yeah, how do you call it? Some things people love to talk about in the Advaita scene.
Let's see.
And let's see what your reaction to that is. Am I not the body?
From my point of view, no. Maybe you see yourself as your body, and as long you believe to be a person, you will identify with your body.
The person needs the body to...
Imagines. Person, mind and body is like in the same box. In the same box with time and space.
Time, space, person,
mind, body.
All part of that
same box.
And that box we could call
illusion.
The dream.
Or the dream, as you like. The dream. The imagination, the illusion, the misunderstanding. You can give it lots of names. relative reality, you can also call it.
And could I say that it's not strange that I believe to be this illusion, because it's told to me?
Yeah,
100
it's a
times
mass
day.
belief.
Yeah.
It's in our mass consciousness,
Yeah.
for sure, of course.
Yeah.
But our mass consciousness is quite a delusion. So it's not for most people. It's not obvious that we realize. Wait a minute. This is not what I really am. This body is my vehicle, the gift, to experience life. Like my feelings, like my thoughts. It's the gift to experience life. It's not my true identity. And this we have to see.
Because when we still identify with all those things you call the illusion box, suffering is part of the package?
Yeah, absolutely. Suffering, yeah. Longing, fear, hopelessness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But can you say what you as a guru gives us instead of that box of illusions?
Yeah. So then, if I'm not this box with illusions, what am I?
Yeah.
And that is, you cannot really speak this, because what you really are is prior to any words, to any name. But any name will do, because any name can point in this direction. So whatever, truth can never be spoken, but we can direct, we can point in a direction, like unconditional love, like freedom, like peace, like joy, causeless joy, like lightheartedness, playfulness. These are colors of this mystery that cannot really be expressed, but can be revealed to itself, by itself, in you. Yeah.
So you can taste the flavor of it.
Exactly. You can taste the flavor, but it cannot really be spoken. Yeah. But the direction is good enough, like a needle of a compass. It can never be completely the north. It cannot, but it points in the right direction. And it's the same with the mystical expression.
Yeah.
It's never true. It's close as words can speak. Yeah.
And why is it so hard to get rid of an illusion?
Usually, it is wrapped in fear. But when we find the courage and see through a particular situation or painful place, and all of us have experienced that, when we are through it, we think, what was that all about? Huh?
Yeah.
Was it really so difficult? Was it really so fearful? No. And that should give us courage to see through the next tight knot. Yeah. When you're through it, you think,
no big deal.
No big deal. Move on.
Yeah. Some teachers say that the big deal is still keeping and investing in that illusion and keeping the illusion.
Yeah, that's what I call fear.
Yeah.
That's what I call fear.
And I'm afraid of losing my investment, or
you're afraid of disappearing.
Yeah.
To die.
Yeah. To dissolve. Yeah. And when I walk into a cinema, I love to dissolve.
Exactly. So here we are back to 20 minutes ago, where we were talking about this friction you want and you don't want. Yeah. So there needs to be a power that is stronger than your fear. Yeah. And that power can be your thirst, or your despair, or your longing, or somebody at your side supporting you. Yeah, encouraging you, empowering you, investing in you. Like I have had. Yeah, biggest gift in my life. Yeah.
bigger than your children?
That is difficult to say. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of a worldly thing that people say that's the biggest gift.
Yeah. It's a different domain. Of course, I cannot really answer that. Yeah, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. The word love. I don't know if we spoke about it earlier in this interview.
Not yet.
No.
Yeah.
That's let's say in the illusionary world, that's the biggest thing you can.
Yeah.
Well, you can get love and sex. That's like closest to.
Yeah.
The divine.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that love is a love that can come and go.
Oh yeah, your beloved can walk away any moment.
Yeah. That makes it
and
powerful.
you can get bored, or your beloved gets bored with you or me. Yeah. So it's fragile.
Yeah.
But what does it mean that we want this lover? What does it mean? You know, it's an echo of the love that you already are. And we invest in the echo. And we don't invest in this essential awakening journey.
Yeah.
So usually people are satisfied with the echo, with the shadow, you know, and not with the light. And sex, of course we love sex because there also we disappear. And there is the echo of this union. Yeah. The echo of this union. And we think this is it. And we want to have it again and again and again and again. And if we just go within, here it already is. It already is. This sacred union already is. The ultimate beloved is here.
Osho once called having an orgasm a poor man's realization.
Beautiful. Yeah, a poor man's realization. Yeah. And the sadness of it is that it needs to be repeated. It's never... It gives satisfaction. It gives for just a little bit, a little while.
And mostly afterwards, I don't know if people, you recognize it, you, after 10 minutes and half an hour, you feel empty again or lonely.
Yeah, right.
Lonely. Or
Right. So it only stills the loneliness for a very short while.
Yeah.
So, you know, when you know that from your own life experience, and you have heard what is possible, why not go for...
Yeah.
This
you always say, go for the gold.
Go for the gold. Go for the gold. When I heard this, you know, for the first time, I thought, this is it. And I already knew that nothing in the world would fulfill me. I already knew that when I was 19. When I was at secondary school, 16, 17, I had 3 desires. I wanted to live in Amsterdam. I wanted to study medicine. And I wanted a boyfriend. And when I was 19, I was living in Amsterdam. I was studying, I was at medical school, and I had a boyfriend. And I looked and I thought, it's not enough. Yeah. So then I realized, now all my desires are fulfilled. I'm not happy. Not happy enough. It needs to be repeated again and again and again and again. So I knew already then that nothing in the world would ever fulfill me. And that was confirmed the moment I met a truly awakened soul. So it was very easy for me to not longer be seduced by something secondary.
Yeah, at a very young age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it took a while before I met him, because there was nobody in Holland to testify, to express from an awakened place, if you can call it a place.
Yeah, that was Alexander Smith.
Right.
He's no longer among us.
No.
He passed away in '98. There are a lot of material online which we can listen to and watch. You told me that he said after 2 or 3 times he saw you that he says, well, you're going to speak about this the rest of your life, either if you want it or not.
Right.
How did it make that? How did it make you feel when he said that?
I said, I know that.
Oh, you knew?
Yeah. Yeah.
Not afraid that you think, oh
No.
my God, what's happening here?
I've known this all my life. Yeah. Fear is not so my thing. Yeah. I'm not going there. No, there's better, something better. And he showed me. He was the first one who showed me. So when I met him, wherever he was, I was.
Yeah.
I never skipped a satsang. Never, ever. Flew or not. Yeah.
Did your mind not explain that as being in love with this guy?
No. The meeting was so... was of another realm. Where I met him was of another realm. I never felt... I loved him like nobody else.
Mm-hmm.
And I was married. I loved my husband too. You know, and I loved my children. My children were very, very young then. But this was of another world, this love. So everything in a togetherness with an awakened being is of another world. And that was very clear to me from the first moment.
Yeah. No doubt about it.
Never. No.
When Alexander passed away, did you cry?
No. But I have always loved him like nobody else.
Mm-hmm.
And I was very, very close to him. And for 10 years or so. I miss him sometimes. And I have these sweet memories of him. He saved my life. Yeah, so grateful.
You don't think that this would have crossed your path if you didn't meet Alexander? Would you become a medical student again and stayed married and...
Oh, much worse than that.
Yeah?
Yeah. I was really desperate. Because as I said, you know, I knew from so long that nothing would fulfill me. And that was very painful to acknowledge. Because there's nowhere to go.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing to strive for.
Yeah.
You know, even the story of Lord Buddha is so beautiful. He was a prince, expected to be a king. And he was married to the most beautiful girl. And he had a beautiful son. But the moment he saw, he was leaving his kingdom.
Yeah.
He was leaving his son, he was leaving his wife. And that shows that he had everything, but nothing was enough for him.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a kingdom, but nothing was enough for me.
Yeah.
Nothing. So that's extremely painful. Yeah.
Did your parents not react like most parents do? They say, well, come on, count your blessings.
Yeah, you're so dissatisfied.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't say that, but my friend said, you're so dissatisfied and you are spoiling your life. You had all these possibilities. You're just throwing it away and like that, yeah. But they had no inkling. Not really, no. She's doing something with this strange man and she's going to courses and yeah.
There's this song by the Irish group U2. I still haven't found what I'm looking for. When you're talking about this stuff and you hear music, so you often hear that cry for freedom or that cry.
Exactly. It's in everybody's heart.
Yeah.
More or less covered up.
Yeah. And some people go to cocaine or some people travel all the world.
Yeah.
And
that's the thing now. Most people want new experiences. This is what is going on now. Most people want new experiences, so they come to a satsang here, then they go to Hawaii, and they go to ayahuasca, and then you know, new experiences. That is now very fashionable.
And that's not.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, new experiences.
And this can't be found in an experience.
Ultimately not. Ultimately not. No, an experience is by definition framed in time and space.
Comes and goes.
Yeah, comes and goes. So this freedom is the realm of changelessness. Ultimate freedom, and has no point of reference. Yeah.
So stop saying to yourself that if I can cross off everything on my bucket list, then I will be satisfied.
Postponing.
Yeah.
Postponing, and and running away from the treasure that is hiding right here, right now.
Yeah. But is it then so intimate that we look over it? Is
Right.
it so close by?
Yeah, exactly. It is too close, too immediate, too simple.
Yeah.
Something like that. We always believe in problems. We always want to solve a problem. We always want to do something. We want to fix.
Yeah.
We want to attain. We want our steps, and usually it takes a while before all of that is exhausted.
Mm-hmm.
That you see, nothing works. I've traveled the world. I've done my courses, my trainings, all of that. Nothing works. A lover doesn't even work. Chocolate doesn't even work. Nothing works.
Yeah. What now?
What now?
Yeah.
Be still. Relax. Yeah.
It sounds so simple.
It is simple.
And
It's
so
very, very simple.
So effortless.
Exactly. Yeah, it is it. It is like that.
It doesn't need a big investment like 10,000 euros or...
No, nothing. This is the road from nothing to nothing.
Yeah.
No money, no effort, no age, no education, nothing. It is already your home. You run away in search of yourself.
Yeah. Every day again and again.
Every day again and again, until you're so fed up.
Yeah. And can maybe illness be of help?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, anything that is falling apart, or maybe even success.
Yeah.
People run after success, and then they have success, and they say, "Well, now what?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It reminds me of another disciple of Alexander, Jan Voudrene, a Dutch psychiatrist,
Yeah.
who also said that if everything in the world you tried failed and didn't bring you that which you hoped for, then things get interesting.
Yeah, exactly. When people crash, now what?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you ready now? You apparently needed a crash. Okay, so be it.
Yeah.
Are you ready now? Yeah. Or are you going in the same boat? So be aware, be awake, and see the mechanisms. So I didn't waver. It was my nature not to waver. Yeah. It was my nature to quickly see and acknowledge the road to freedom. Yeah, and Alexander helped me with that.
Yeah.
And later Papaji and Shanti Mai too. Yeah.
And how come you didn't fall into the trap of making spirituality your new nature, your new fabricated home with see what I already have known or did or read or visited?
I don't know.
No.
I remember that when I was a child, sometimes you have this question, when you are big, what do you want to be?
Mm-hmm.
And there were two words. One was the word disciple. I didn't even know what it meant, but it was something. I didn't dare to speak it. It was so intimate, but it was hiding in me. The word disciple, and the other one was nobody. I thought, wow, that must be so free to be nobody, to be somebody. It looks to me quite a burden. You have to build that every day again, to be somebody. Oh my God. But I thought, to be nobody, you can be everywhere. Yeah. So I already had this taste. And later I found out what it meant. And then later I found out, indeed it is like that.
Yeah. Mr. Nobody. Mr. and Mrs. Nobody.
Yeah, Mr. It's so free.
Yeah. You can be anything.
Yeah, you can, yeah. So you can pop up everywhere.
Yeah.
You can hang out with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
It's so free.
But isn't it a burden for you now that people see you as a teacher or as the awakened one, or?
No, I don't feel burdened. No, not at all. And I don't see myself as anything. We play this beautiful situation of me expressing myself and people being thirsty for it. So this is our dance together.
Yeah.
And it is very precious and very beautiful. But I don't see myself as the guru. It's rather, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have no identity really. Yeah.
Last time we spoke in Dutch, I think I remember I asked you, what about a book?
What about a book?
Yeah. Now we're 2 years
It's
later.
ready.
It's ready.
It's ready.
Also in English?
No, in Dutch.
In Dutch.
So it's ready. In a couple of days it will go to the publisher. Yeah.
What's it called?
I can't say. It's still a secret.
Okay.
I will invite you when it is out.
Oh, there. Okay.
Yeah.
And people can order it through your website, I guess?
I will. I have contact with the publisher.
Okay.
So
it's still fresh.
it's very fresh.
Yeah.
It's still in my computer.
Oh.
But it's a matter of days.
Oh, great.
And then it will go to the publisher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe when you watch this in half a year, it's available all over the place.
It should be in the bookshops, but
Yeah.
I don't know yet if the publisher really likes it.
Yeah.
So we have to see. Yeah.
And is it a collection of meetings, or is it your
It's
personal
a very
story?
traditional question and answer.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. But also some stories. Yeah.
Yeah. And can this be captured in a book?
Again, it's a flavor.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like mystic poetry. Yeah. It can never be captured anywhere. Yeah.
Because it is everywhere.
Yeah, it is everywhere, and it cannot be. The mystery cannot be defined.
Yeah. And divided.
And it cannot be divided. No. So again, these are all pointers. Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the books of Nisargadatta was called Pointers, and that's very accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The finger pointing to the moon.
Right.
People say.
Right. And people insist on looking at the finger.
And not to what it's pointing.
And not to what it is pointing at, yeah.
So you are also a pointer.
Yes. Or I called myself last night an alarm clock.
Alarm clock?
Yeah. Like ring, 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 wake up.
Yeah.
Or like we had our little conversation, this image of a bridge, I'm a bridge, or a spiritual friend at your side,
In the movie The Matrix, they had the phone booth where you can pick up the phone and hear truth or...
oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was when people come to meetings with you, that's a whole other thing than reading a book, I guess, because I sit in front of you.
Yeah.
And maybe I tell my life story or I ask questions, and your response is not to the group as a whole, but...
It's very precise to a particular one.
Yeah.
So that it can be different for everyone.
Yeah.
Many of the people who come to satsang I know very well. So I may answer one on a very different level than another one, or even completely the opposite. I will answer to one as to another. Yeah.
Isn't it tiring for you? You have to remember all this stuff. Oh, that's him.
No, I don't remember anything.
No,
I don't remember. But when people ask something, then it is obvious to me. Yeah. So I can just show them a bigger perspective, so that they can see for themselves.
Yeah. So let's say I'm sitting in front of you at a meeting, and I say to you, what's this problem I have with eating, with my weight? I know that food is for me comfort, it is love, it is against boredom, it is lots of things.
So you already give the answer in the question.
Yeah. And I know it for myself. I see myself doing it. I see myself eating this big bowl of spaghetti when half was enough.
Exactly, when half was filling up the hole in the heart, filling up.
Yeah. But not every evening. Sometimes everything is fulfilling, but sometimes I feel
it is
urge.
not.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah.
And we rather fill it up with eating or smoking or drinking or sex or football. Fill it up, then sit and experience it completely. And this is the ultimate invitation. Sit and experience without comment, without any conclusion. You just allow it. This feeling. Yeah.
Should I skip my evening meal? When I feel hungry, should you just be hungry or be with the hunger, or is that too much of a...
You ask for strategies.
Yeah,
huh? Yeah. I think it is a profound decision. It comes down to a profound decision.
Yeah.
Like, I know there's something better.
Yeah.
Am I investing in that fully and totally? And then the need for filling up will just dissolve. It will fade away.
Yeah.
Most of the time. Alexander was coffee eating, a lot.
Cakes.
Yeah. So there is not a rule written in stone. But most of the time it will relax. Yeah. But there are many awakened people who indulge in sexuality, and many who has become meaningless to them.
Yeah.
So it can be anything. But usually it starts with a firm decision. I don't want this anymore. I know there's something better. I go for it. Yeah. That's a decision somehow. And that decision is a decision to live along the line of truth. And that truth is your boss. And that you're willing to listen and to receive and to act accordingly. It's a willingness, a profound willingness, and a profound urge and love for the best life, most shiny life.
Yeah. A colleague of yours, Giovanjali, also a disciple of Shanti Mai, once said, "This is the quality of your being. Don't settle for less."
Yeah.
That's what you're pointing at also.
Exactly.
Quality of being.
Exactly. Yeah, and you know what is possible. And that is always fascinating to me, when people know what is possible and the next moment turn their back.
Yeah.
I'm fascinated by that.
Why do we settle for less?
Yeah. Again, fear. Fear is always the great big thing. And again, people don't want to be disturbed in their comfort. Don't disturb me. Yeah. So they live in this cocoon of belief systems and comfort. Yeah.
Do I maybe think I'm unworthy of?
Can be. I
think, well, that's not.
Not for me.
No.
Can be. Yeah. But there is something in you that knows better.
Yeah.
And are you, again, willing to listen to this depth? What knows? This is only a protective statement. Yeah, an excuse.
Yeah. Could it be laziness? That I think, well, another lifetime. I'm content with this coffee.
Yeah. We can give lots of reasons. We can also say, well, it can be captured by the word maturity. By the word maturity.
Yeah.
Can be captured by that word.
And why? Maturity?
Yeah, maturity to have this unwavering willingness, or to hide in excuses.
Yeah.
Spiritual maturity. Yeah, and many children nowadays are very mature. And many elderly people are very immature.
Very childish, yeah.
Childish, yeah.
Still want their needs fulfilled.
Yeah, exactly.
Right now,
yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. For me, a good test is I'm hungry. I'm thinking, okay, I could go to this place and get, have to wait for half an hour and then get a delicious meal. Or I drive through McDonald's and get it in 5 minutes and I eat it, and after 10 minutes I feel terrible, and after 1 hour I'm hungry again.
Yeah, and angry.
Angry at yourself.
Angry at yourself. I've done it again.
I did it again.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you deal with the consequences of your actions and of your choices. We all do. I deal with the consequences and the actions of my choices. We all do.
Yeah.
And many people nowadays get fed up. I don't want to live on this frequency anymore. And to hang out with people who are negative, who are complaining, I don't want it anymore.
Yeah.
I want this shine in my life.
It takes courage.
It takes courage, and we all have it. Yeah.
But it's handy to have someone like you who tells you...
Empowers you.
Empowers you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Empowers you.
Gives you faith.
Confidence.
Confidence.
Trust.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's then again up to you whether you want it or not. You know. You can also sit at satsang like that. Who the hell do you think you are?
Yeah. How does she know?
Yeah. How does she know? Pfft, you can sit like that.
Yeah.
It's all up to you.
Yeah.
What do you want? What do you really, really, really want from life?
Yeah.
It tells you quickly. Yeah.
That's a good question to start.
It's an excellent question to start. What do you really want from life?
Yeah.
And the so-called guru doesn't want anything. The guru is already happy and fulfilled.
Yeah.
You know.
So
I don't need anything from anybody. I'm fine.
Not on a mission to awaken everybody.
No.
No. No. And still you do.
And still I do.
Yeah.
But it is because of the... Well, first of all, my gurus push me. And now it is because the people long. It is by their longing that the words come.
Mm.
When the longing is... Yeah, like that. When the longing is not there, I zap.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's nothing moving in me. Nothing. Yeah.
So right now I'm pulling these words out of you.
Right. Yeah.
And slurping them.
Yeah, it's the longing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I reflect a little bit on this mission thing. Because there is a love somehow in action, you know, to show.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And you demonstrated that again for the last hour. Thank you very much. Looking forward to your book, maybe in English in a couple.
It will come.
Yeah, it will come.
Yeah.
The website is prajnaparamita.nl.
Right.
There's also your agenda. People can come to France to visit you, and a couple of times a year here in...
many times.
Many
I'm
times,
here
yeah.
every 6 weeks, and I give lots of satsangs, and every time is satsang weekend also. That's very intense.
In Baren.
In Baren.
Yeah. And for people who come from other countries, in Baren you speak in English also.
Yeah.
Whole weekend or just...
The whole weekend.
Yeah.
English.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Dutch people find that limiting. Then we communicate in Dutch.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's fine.
Yeah. And every age.
Every age.
You say even children come to visit you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you told me a beautiful quote at the kitchen table. What do children say when they come to a meeting with you?
One child said, "Why does my heart feel so warm?" And I said, a 7-year-old girl, and I said, "Because the sun is shining in your heart." Yeah.
Thank you very much.
You're most welcome. Thank you.